who's going to partner Red Bull? And this question is obviously coming on the back of the fact that Honda has registered its interest with F1 regarding the 2026 power unit, which means it will be a part of the discussions that will finalize the rules and regulations and sign off on the 2026 power unit. And Honda could decide to either partner with Red Bull or go ahead as an independent power unit supplier if it wanted to, which usually won't happen. Obviously it'll happen in partnership because they'll want to pen a deal
Yeah.
for their power units before they try and build it and
Yeah.
then sell it to someone else. And the second part, the fact that Ford, there have been rumors saying that Ford wants a sponsorship partnership sort of thing in Formula One, and Red Bull is a prime candidate. And they're willing to offer technical expertise, but all they want is to give money to put that oval badge on a car. And I think, in my opinion, if Honda is dilly-dallying, that is the best deal for Red Bull moving forward. Red Bull had that when they were running the Renault engines, I think. They had the
Yep.
Tag Heuer badge on it. And now they can have the Ford badge on it. And if they're getting money for it, I think that's a dream come true for RB because they can pour all that
Engine
money
operations.
in that they have. So I think that is like a win-win for Christian Horner, in my opinion. What are your opinions on who's going to partner Red Bull and what could be the best case
Yeah,
scenario
I
for
think
them?
like for Honda, it's very surprising because first they said we'll leave, and then they sort of stayed on with Red Bull to assess them, and now they have registered interest again for 26. That's all very strange. But for Ford, it's a classic Ford move because the most successful engine in Formula One, the Ford Cosworth engine, is a Cosworth engine with the Ford badge on. It's not developed by Ford. It's developed by the Cosworth brothers in the UK, and I think they are brothers. Yeah, whatever. It's developed by Cosworth in the UK, and it just had the Ford badge on. So I think that's the best deal for Ford and pretty much for Red Bull as well. Because if Red Bull partner with Honda, and as you said, Honda are not really sure what they want from their future endeavors because of all the to and fro that we have seen for the last few seasons.
Yeah, it takes away from the stability
Exactly.
that Red Bull have to
Exactly.
offer
And
themselves, really.
yeah, sure, Honda have an Formula 1 engine program going on, or sort of the knowledge right now, and the 26 regulations might help them, like their existing knowledge might help in the 26 regulations, but Red Bull's engine program also has some sort of knowledge about the engine regulations from Honda.
I mean, a lot of people
Yeah,
from
yeah,
HRC,
move
that
to
engine
Red
program,
Bull, right?
moved to
Yeah, exactly.
RBPT basically, and now the Honda badge will be on the Red Bull car for the 2023 season. So I'm not sure what that entails either, but it is just a continuation of the fact that Honda will keep on building and supplying those engines to Red Bull until 2025. But what exactly entails that Honda badge back on the Red Bull car is a
Yeah,
question for Christian Horner to answer. And I haven't really looked into
yeah,
it, so
but
I'm not sure what to say
the
about it.
Ford partnership is a best deal for Red Bull because Porsche are out of the question because they want a much higher stake and much higher ownership and controlling ownership, whatever. And Ford just want their name on a Formula One car because it's the hottest it's a hot commodity, and yeah, it's a win-win for both of them.
Yeah, I really, if Red Bull can get their engine program going as soon as possible, as well as possible, there is no reason, in my opinion, for them to continue relying on Honda and instead just take the money from Ford, pour into the engine program, and get going. And maybe work with
Yep.
private partners like Cosworth or Ilmore or
and
someone, and continue developing
if
that engine
Ford
for the
if
new
Ford come
regulations.
in, sorry, they will get that extra allowance for like the extra budget for a new engine manufacturer kind of thing. Like it won't come out of Red Bull's. Like there are some regulations for engine manufacturer cost cap or something like that, right? So Red Bull might be able to detach themselves from it, and it might go to Ford or something like, because that was a conversation happening around with while Audi were in discussion. So I don't remember the details to it, but yeah, there is something like that going on.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think Red Bull hold all the cards. It'll just depend on how fast they can make the decision and how they can make that decision work for themselves in the long run. Because I think we'll be entering a relative period of stability in F1 after the
Yep.
2026 regulations kick in. So it'll be interesting to see which route Red Bull go, because essentially, they're still the only privateer constructor team in F1, technically, like the biggest privateer constructor team in F1,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, because they don't
Yeah.
have an automotive organization behind them. Mercedes both have an automotive organization. You could say the same about
Alpine.
McLaren.
Yep.
So top 4 of the 5 teams have an automotive organization behind them, whereas Red Bull, does not. So it's definitely a badge of honor, and if Ford come in, I think that's a big dub for Red Bull. Not that they need
Yeah,
it,
and
but
I think I
any money
feel
is good money.
Ford will be willing to invest much more than probably any other organization. Like it's just
Yeah, especially given that Ford itself is not taking any risks with Red Bull. It's a stable
Ford.
operation at the moment.
If it doesn't go
and,
well, Ford can pull out any moment, right? So yeah, they'll be willing to invest much more than anyone else.